So Threads just ended up coming out, which could be a threat, no pun intended, to Twitter. So let's go and see what the differences are between Threads and Twitter at a fairly high level and see if you should switch over to Threads, if you should keep Twitter. Now, personally for me, I think both are going to be going through hand in hand. I don't think there's a reason to switch now completely, but if you have a Twitter account, you might as well switch over. You might as well at least use Threads, mostly because it links up with your Instagram account. So the biggest difference here is that with Twitter, you can log in with your username, password. I think you can log in with your Gmail account too and those other things. But Threads allows you to log in and create an account with your Instagram account, and you can port over your information from Instagram straight into Threads, which is honestly pretty nice. Now, as of right now, there are still way more users on Twitter than there are on Threads. So just keep that in the back of your head. If you're trying to go ahead and see, what's going on, if you're trying to figure out what's going on in the world, Twitter is still going to be the way to go, in my opinion, for the next at least couple months. But things can change, and Threads could also be probably up there in terms of Twitter. There's also a lot of controversy going on, honestly, between both platforms. So I don't think there's like one or right or wrong platform to use here. I mean, they're both kind of have their quirks and annoyingness. The big difference, though, that I was able to tell that some other people mentioned too, was that within Threads, there's not really any sort of web, interface. There's not really a website. There's threads.net, which allows you to see some things, but there's not really a website yet for Threads, which it'll happen. It'll come in the future. But that's just one thing that's kind of stated that, they're working on a web version. That's what the CEO of Instagram said. But Twitter does actually already have it, which is honestly nice. I pretty much use the Twitter website most of the time whenever I'm on Twitter anyway. So that's something that's really cool. Now, there's also no search panel yet within Threads, but it's going to happen in the future. So in the future, there's going to be search, there's going to be lots of things. But as of right now, that's not really there on Threads. So it's kind of a funny thing, but that's just another one of those things that's kind of there, there in my opinion. Also, this is a very, very weird thing. But as of right now, from me making this video, this is going to change in the future. But you can't actually delete your Threads profile without actually deleting your Instagram account either. So once you make your Threads profile, that's it. You can't go back unless you want to delete both your Threads and Instagram account. You can hide and private your Threads account if you want to. But that was another thing that's kind of came out to me too. I mean, that's kind of an annoying thing. Other than that though, there are lots of similarities. There's not really that many differences here. I will say though, if you're somebody who's trying to switch between one or the other, you're really not going to be noticing too many differences except for the amount of people on the platform. Right now, much like every single platform that gets hyped up, there's a bunch of people that switch over to it or start using it. They think it's the next best thing. That fizzles out, and then people end up using the thing they were using before. We've seen this before with there's been tons of platforms, even with Twitter. Remember when Twitter was trying to, everyone was switching out from Twitter? They ended up using a lot of other platforms, but they ended up coming back to Twitter anyway. So I feel like Threads is a pretty big, deal. I think this would probably be the biggest threat to Twitter, mostly because it's tied in with your Instagram account. But I will still say the community, the amount of people, and the amount of, improvements Twitter has done throughout the last, since they started in however many years ago, I will say Instagram, if there's any company that can compete with Twitter, it probably is Instagram. I think this would be probably the best case for, Instagram. If you think about it, they have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have WhatsApp, now they have Threads. With Twitter, they just really only have Twitter. They kind of have Vine, but that's kind of went away. I don't even know if they're going to bring it back. But they really just have Twitter. With Instagram having that much data, they can just go ahead and just kind of see how to go ahead and make people switch over to Threads. And tying it up with your Instagram account was a very, very smart thing. With Twitter, I'll be very curious to see how they go and, and how they're impacted by this. I think advertisers and all that stuff, they're already still on Twitter, but people will switch over. If people are using Threads, then I think that's what it's going to be. So I think I don't plan on switching over from Threads from Twitter to Threads anytime soon. But there is going to be a time, probably in the near future, where people are going to be looking at something like Threads and be like, you know what, I might as well just go here because it's already tied in with my Instagram account. I think there's room for Instagram to go ahead and move in that direction, rather than them being somewhat of a Twitter competitor. People will say, well, I'm already on Instagram, why wouldn't I just be on Threads? It's so much easier, rather than creating a separate Twitter account or even going on Twitter separately. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.